Hi guys, and welcome back to Cryptochester. I'm here today to give you a Bitcoin update strictly on the macro. We're going to be going through my prediction over the next sort of 2 weeks or so, because there's a lot of skepticism at the moment in the market as to, are we going to keep falling down, or where are we going to bounce? Is anyone bullish? Is anyone bearish? There's a lot of different conversations right now, and I just wanted to cover my point of view in detail with you guys on the weekly time frame, just referencing previous halvings, previous pullback areas. Very important data throughout this whole video, so please make sure you pay attention, because all of this does add together as to what I think will happen to Bitcoin in the next sort of 2 weeks or so in sort of bounce direction. So let's just get straight into this. We do have a lot to cover, so hopefully the video is not going to be too long. And again, guys, if you like the content, smash a like on it. You know what to do. So just starting off very basically here with just the chart pattern that we've got here for this current bull market. The bear market low that we currently have for Bitcoin here is 15,461 over on the BTC index here. Now you can see from there, the confirmed higher low that we do have is 19.5, then 24.7, and then 38.6 is the most recent confirmed higher low. Basically, that means for you new traders out there, if we're above 38.6 here, that technically means that we're still in a bullish market, and the market structure is in our favor. Okay, so that's going to be a very key point to look out for there. If Bitcoin is going to have a major reversal here, as long as we're holding 38.6, that's going to be a very important point. As long as we're holding that, we're still technically bullish. Okay, now onto the chart pattern that we do currently have for this bull market. Yes, very clean, very solid uptrend. Okay, you can see the areas of resistance that we have got testing this upward sloping parallel channel, and you can see actually that green break point that we did plot in there as well. Now currently we have just fallen back into this channel on the weekly candle here, but please note we have 3 days and 14 hours left to essentially get a candle body close outside of this channel and hopefully find a level of support. Do I think that's going to happen? I think it's quite unlikely, and I will go into details as to why I think it's quite unlikely, but this is just going to be the chart pattern that we're referencing. You can see on the lower side here, we've got that level of support, the momentum to the upside there, momentum to the upside there, and momentum again to the upside there. So you can see this is the channel that we're currently working with from a charting perspective. These parallel channels, they tend to usually break to the downside, so it's something we need to be looking out for there in the future, probably when we're coming into into the end of the bull market or something along the lines of that, guys, when this is fully extended and we've seen the heights of Bitcoin over 100k, and basically we've seen the top out for that essential super cycle coming through. But yeah, that's all relative right now. Let's talk about where we think Bitcoin is going to be going over the next sort of few weeks, and a bit of data to back up the theory of what we're thinking here. Okay, and before we carry on with this video, I just want to talk to you guys about Cryptonomy. You guys know that I actually put quite a large amount of money here, I think about 1 month ago, and we went through flexible staking and stuff like that. So I'm just here to give you basically an update on Cryptonomy and a couple of their new features, which I'm about to put some more money into as well. So I thought I'd do it live with you guys to show you guys what I'm doing with a part of my portfolio here. So you can see the Bitcoin that I invested in flexible staking has generated $300 in like a month. Pretty crazy stuff. And also we got the Ethereum, $142 as well. And I think we got some Matic also in there. Good stuff, around $50 there for Matic. So yeah, you can see genuinely it's looking pretty good from a flexible standpoint. I also wanted to show you guys basically fixed as well, because yes, of course, making good money here, just staking it, leaving it there. But I do want to do some fixed as well there. And that basically means here that the interest that you get on your fixed investments are a lot higher. Okay, so I'm going to be doing some Bitcoin here today, and the reason why I do want to do this is because, again, like, I'm going to be leaving my Bitcoin here in Cryptonomy for a while, right? I'm not going to be trading it. I'm just going to be leaving it. I've got my portfolio to trade, so I do just want to deposit some. Well, I've deposited into Cryptonomy again, and I'm going to be using some of my... I'm not going to use my wallet balance because I'm about to put my wallet balance actually into the launch pool, which we will go through in a second, guys. But I don't want to keep you too long here, just breaking up this video very shortly. But I do want to actually just put in probably 0.12 being 0.2 Bitcoin, sorry, and I'm going to be putting that in for 6 months, and that is going to basically occur 22.21%. Okay, so that's pretty good, and this is just because you guys know what I think is going to be happening with Bitcoin here. I think we're just going to generally be in a gradual uptrend for the next sort of 6 months or so. So it is a great investment here doing that. I'm just going to be earning money through interest and through Bitcoin going up as well. So yeah, I'm just going to get that staked in there. Good stuff. And you can see it gives me an expiration date as to when I can take that out. So good stuff. Going to create that, get that going, request sent, and that gets sent over to the admin team, and they'll basically approve that. Now, the next thing I wanted to go over quickly, guys, is actually the launch pool here. Okay, it's a new thing that Cryptonomy have done here. And essentially what this is, you create a contract, you lock your money in for a certain period of time, and then they choose basically how to invest it in all of these new up-and-coming projects, right? And they basically guarantee you an ROI. It's really ridiculous, right? I've spoken to a lot of the Cryptonomy team about this, and you can see a lot of the projects that they do, GameFi, DeFi, blockchain services, etc. They are very big in the industry, and they're only going to get bigger, right? So what I'm talking about here, guys, is the launch pool. Your investments, your freedom, unique opportunities, and it's basically like an incubation sort of thing here. You put your money in, you essentially give it to them to trade, and they guarantee you a really good return. So we're going to be doing that as well on here. We're going to create a contract. Very simple stuff here. Create a contract. I'm going to be doing the wallet balance. I'm going to put in my flexible because I just locked a bit of that, and I want to leave a bit of it free there. But my wallet balance, which I just deposited, is going to be 0.2 BTC there, and we're going to be choosing the bronze package. And this essentially guarantees basically a 5x on your investment over a certain period of time, right? And the period of time is going to be 1 year. So it's going to be 12 months, guys, but it is going to be a 5x on your investment. So that is 500%. Okay, so it's 500% on your investment. And me putting in BTC, I don't think BTC is going to 5x in the next year. Okay, it'd be amazing if it did, but I don't think it's going to 5x in the next year there. So yeah, it's a great investment from an investment standpoint to get 5x on your BTC, because that's what they'll give it back. They might take your BTC and they might invest it in other projects and stuff like that, just to basically get the best best ROI there for you. And yeah, you can do other packages as well. You can do bronze, silver, gold. You can put in a lot more BTC, but for now I am trying to spread out my portfolio, so I'm only going to be putting in 0.2 BTC. But yeah, you can put in silver package, gold package, and platinum. You can see platinum is 8 BTC and gold is 4 BTC. And you can see with gold you can actually gain up to 20x there. It's absolutely crazy stuff there. And silver is 10x and bronze is 5x. Okay, so I'm going to be doing bronze, locking that in for a year. Just thought I'd do that with you guys on the stream. Very, very simple, very, very easy stuff here. And yeah, all the terms and conditions are good as well. So yeah, creating that, really good stuff. Request sent as well, so that'll be sent over to Cryptonomy, and I will be back probably maybe again in a month so or a week so to give you guys an update on my Cryptonomy funds and see how much I'm basically making here on this platform. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, good stuff. But yeah, back to the video. So let's go into the 21 EMA. Okay, the 21 EMA is a very, very common moving average here, guys, and a lot of us know this pretty much off by heart here on the weekly. And you can see throughout bull markets here, we usually test it and we usually ride along it quite nicely. Okay, it's a really quite nice level of support here that we do reference. Okay, so that's the first point I want to be looking out for there, because what do you know, we're pretty much just about to test that here for the Bitcoin price. Okay, so that's a very interesting point to be looking out for there, because there is massive levels of support. If we go back in history here, for previous bull markets after the halving, you can see the 21 EMA here is a very, very strong bounce point. Didn't quite get it there after we topped out and hit all-time highs there for Bitcoin, but you can see even after that, breaking it with confidence, you can see really nice bullish momentum. Doesn't happen every time, but it's definitely a key indication here for a level of support. I mean, this is a great example from the bull market in 2016 coming up. I mean, it was a little bit longer than that, but throughout 2016, 17, you can see the support that we actually got on that 21 EMA was really, really, really clean, really, really nice. Okay, so that's one point of view that we need to be looking out for here, because let's just remember, guys, we've never had Bitcoin ETFs, well, in the US or Hong Kong, right? Most recently we have had that, and that's why we have seen a lot of institutional buying power for Bitcoin, and that is still on the cards, right? So the first point of view we need to be looking out for there is $56,000 for a Bitcoin bounce, potentially. Definitely something to be looking out for there as well. And you can see that's happened multiple times throughout different halvings. Okay, the next point that I want to be covering here, guys, is going to be the bull market barrier. So we're going to bring this up just like so. And basically, if we're above this bull market barrier and it's essentially blue, it means we're in a nice juicy bull market. And if we're below it and it's red, it means we're probably going into what you call a bear market when the price is retracing. Okay, but one key thing about this indicator is this central point. Okay, it's this central point when we're in this essential bull market. Okay, and that central point is slowly creeping up to around 53, and within the next week, 2 weeks or so, this is in a progressive stance. As you can see, the chart is progressive, so we're probably going to be looking at around 55, 56 sort of area for that level of support to be tested. Let's have a look in previous weeks to see how this has been reactive before. You can see massive levels of resistance there. You can see levels of support again. Okay, so this is definitely a point to really be referencing. That central zone, very, very important for this indicator. Okay, so that's another point for a potential bounce for us to be looking out for here for Bitcoin, all lining up to that 55, 56 sort of area. Okay, so that's going to be the bull market barrier covered there as well. And then I want to bring in the volume weighted average true range. If you guys watch my channel a lot, you know that I use these indicators a lot, and they're very, very reliable here. And you can see the volume weighted average true range for potential bounce points are currently sat on the 3-day, the 12-hour, and the weekly we've got plotted in here as well. And that is basically within this area as well. Okay, spanning from 52 up to around 55. Okay, so this area, very strong for a bounce. Okay, very strong for a bounce. You can see the stars are sort of aligning here for a potential move to the upside. Okay, now let's talk pullbacks. Let's talk bull market pullbacks, because it's actually very important. You can see every time that we have a massive move to the upside, we naturally have to pull back. Okay, so this is where we're going to be going for the higher high. So you can see we've got a higher high coming through here, pullback of around 22% to that confirmed higher low. Okay, 22% there, and then you can see new higher high set, pullback of around 20% there. Okay, so this is very important stuff. And then you can see breaking to the upside again before we see that higher high get set, which is currently, well, it was set at around 49,000. The pullback from 49,000 to that confirmed higher low was again around 21% there, guys. Okay, so this is another interesting sort of scenario that we need to take into consideration, because again, we've tapped all-time highs here for Bitcoin. Well, we've set new all-time highs here for Bitcoin, and we have had a significant pullback. The significant pullback is currently priced from the low at 23%. Okay, so you can see the sort of confluence here that we are looking for a potential bounce point. Yes, it could go lower than that, but at this point in time, it is in confluence with everything else. And the institutions are basically sat waiting to buy. If we were to come down to, say, 53, a lot of people are talking about 53, that'd be a 28% pullback, which is obviously really quite, it's quite large. It'd be the biggest pullback of this run so far. But it basically, the more that we pull back here, the higher chance of us bouncing. Okay, so it's a very important point to be looking out for there. But yeah, let's just leave that data on the chart, and let's look back at previous bull markets and those pullback levels as well. Okay, so let's just do the previous halving here from May the 19th, I think it was, May the 20th potentially, and you can see move to the upside, higher high created, pullback zone. Pullback was again 20%. Okay, so the next pullback is going to be here, and that is going to be again, well, it's going to be 31% there. Then you can see all-time highs getting set for Bitcoin, and then well, we could say this is actually a pullback zone, yeah, around 25% there again. And you can see pullback, yes, 50% into this in micro bear market when everyone started going mental. But you can see 55% pullback there from all-time highs. And then we obviously saw another rally up to set all-time highs. But these pullbacks, guys, you can see they're quite significant, okay? They're quite significant in terms of being sort of an average between 20 and 30% in this run. And on our current run, the average is probably around 20, probably 21 there. So it just gives us a bit more data here as to how long it's going to take for us to bounce, okay? Because we are in a bull market. Everything's bullish right now. We've just had the halving. We've got institutions buying up Bitcoin like crazy. And we've just had a significant pullback. But the real reason for me to doing this video here is because I wanted to sort of give you guys a bit of reassurance here that crypto isn't just going to be going down here. There's a lot of FUD in the market right now, and it's just basically a pullback zone for what is about to come. Okay, and this is why it's very important to not be that emotional here with when you are trading and you are potentially even holding your assets here. That it can actually be quite stressful, right? So it's nice to break this down, and you can see in this bull market here from 2016, you can see the average pullback zone was around 30, was around probably 35% was the average pullback there. So it's just quite interesting to see that our average pullback zone that we have currently had, we're basically sat on that zone right now, guys. So if we were just to bring up the 21 EMA yet again, you can see that 21 EMA would give us a pullback zone of around 23%, which will be the biggest pullback that we have had in this bull market to date, okay? Which is very important. It's a very, very important level. Now, we're going to get rid of that for a second because there is another piece of information that I want to get across and show you guys as well that is, again, very, very important. But just to summarize, for now, for what we've covered, is everything's sort of pointing towards that 53, 56 sort of level. So the lowest sort of price that I would sort of expect here for Bitcoin at this time is probably 53, with the likelihood of a bounce and continuation from that point. Now, how fast is this going to happen? When are we going to start mooning? This is the question that a lot of people are asking, okay? On the weekly time frame, we've had 5 weeks now, 5 bearish weeks in a row in a bull market. It's quite rare for this to happen, okay? It's quite rare to have a significant weeks in a row without any bullish candles. I think the most that we've had there is 4, and that was very, very sideways. A lot of doji star candles coming through there as well. And previously, in previous bull markets, we've not really seen this before. Not as many as we currently have. So it is very, very important here to just take into consideration that there's a very strong chance that we have a move to the upside very, very soon. Okay, I'm not saying that we're very, very bullish and everything's going to explode here. I'm just saying 5 bearish candles in a row in such a super cycle bull market that we're currently in is actually a very rare thing to have. Okay, so it's a bullish sign, if anything, for a potential reversal. Now, the next point that I do want to get across here is going to be using the quantum insight. Okay, so the first point I want to be talking about here is going to be this money flow trend line. Okay, the money flow, if you guys are not familiar with this indicator on my channel, is this these circles here. You've got the pink circles here and you've got the blue circles there. Okay, the pink circles are money flowing out of Bitcoin and the blue circles are money flowing into Bitcoin. And what have we seen most recently for this whole bull market on the weekly, the bull market on the weekly here? You can see a lot of money has been flowing into Bitcoin, and we have seen that from an institutional standpoint as well. And the thing that I really did want to reference here, guys, is this potential trend line that we've got coming up here, okay? Very important stuff, because this actually ties in perfectly with a stochastic move as well, okay? So I will get into it, okay? I don't want to confuse anyone too much here, but basically what this means is levels of support have potentially been formed along this trend line and is very likely to have a continuation of money flow coming into Bitcoin, which does mean more bullish price action, okay? Now let's look at the confluence of that in comparison to previous bull markets, guys, to previous bull markets and previous price action here for Bitcoin. And as you can see here, We've got the previous halving. We've got the trend line from the previous halving from money flow as well. This test here, very important. We saw the level of support coming through. And then after that, if we look very, very closely at this test here, which is this test here on the 28th of September, you can see 28th of September, from that point, we absolutely exploded. We just exploded to the upside, okay? And that's basically basing on that money flow trend line, the first couple of touches of that level of support. Very, very important stuff. And the real point that the confluences sort of come together at this point, guys, if we're looking at this halving, if we're looking at the previous halving, a very important area here, again, is going to be the money flow. The next point that does line up is this stochastic on the weekly, okay? So the stochastic on the weekly is a very important thing to be referencing, guys, because let's talk about basically the previous halvings and what the stochastic has done, okay? So if you look at the stochastic at this halving, we're currently falling down near enough at this 0 point, ready for that reversal of the price, okay, which is a good sign. It's a very bullish sign here for that to be happening. So it's basically another sign that we're going to be bouncing here. So let's just go back to previous halvings and let's see where the stochastic on the weekly was. You can see really, really, really high up, ridiculously high up here for the halving previously, and this essentially meant that the price sort of stagnated for a long time, for like 10 weeks or so, before we actually saw a nice little run up, before we saw, what do you know, the confluence of the money flow trend line and the stochastic crossover coming in one zone, essentially, okay? And what happened after that? It absolutely exploded. The price of Bitcoin absolutely exploded, and we went into that massive run, okay? So that's a very, very, very interesting point to be looking out for there, because what is happening right now, guys, is the exact same thing on this current run. So that essentially means we've probably got 1 or 2 weeks potentially until we see this test come into fruition, okay? So 1 or 2 more weeks and we will see the money flow trendline test, the stochastic come to this low zone as well, and then we see basically massive explosions here for Bitcoin, okay? That's not me saying that Bitcoin can't go down to 50K, it can't go down to 45K, but what I am saying here, if we're referencing other bull markets, it's actually very important to be referencing the stochastic and this money flow situation, okay? So let's go back again into this and let's talk stochastic from the previous bull market in 2016, right? You can see stochastic after the halving, we saw a massive dump, and then we saw the reversal, okay? We saw the bullish reversal coming through. So let's bring that up on the chart where we saw this stochastic crossover here on the weekly, and you can see on the chart, from that point, stochastic crossover, we basically began our rally, okay? And yeah, that is after the halving. So what this is basically telling us right now is everyone's very scared of the halving and the price actually coming down here. But you can see when we do see that stochastic crossover coming down on the weekly, every single halving that has happened when this has happened for us, it's basically exploded, okay? So basically what it's saying here in reference to the current halving is we're done. The stochastic's already on the way down for us. We're just about to hit this lower side. We've got the money flow ready to react as well. We've got the 21 EMA ready to hold us up. We've got all the volume-weighted ATR bands ready to hold us up. We do also have that pullback zone, the pullback average that we were talking about for this current run as well. A lot of things are pointing to the upside here. A lot of things are pointing to the upside, and it is keeping me very, very bullish here, okay? So, yes, we might see some short-term downside here for Bitcoin, which is absolutely fine. Couple of weeks or so is sort of what we're predicting here, and then we can be looking for basically a massive, I'm talking a huge move for Bitcoin, and that's when we're really going to see everything else start to really rally up. So just in summary, guys, for the video, sorry, I didn't mean to keep you guys too long here, but just in summary for the video, we're looking for a really strong level of support over the next sort of 2 weeks. If we don't find that support in the next sort of 2 weeks from the volume-weighted ATR bands, from the MAs, the next lower point that I would be referencing here for a bounce point isn't going to be the market structure high or low at 38k. It would take a hell of a lot of momentum for us to get down there. It would just be the 55 EMA coming up and the daily volume weighted average true range as well. Maybe we wick down very aggressively, bounce back up, and then we see, as I said, the stochastic, the money flow coming on our side as well for that lovely, lovely progressionary move to the upside, which basically signals the confirmation of the run after this halving period. Okay, but yeah, that's going to be my TA update here, in depth for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Didn't mean to bore you too much with this, but you can see all of my reasonings in one as to why I think and why I am still currently bullish in this market. And I do think that I think a lot of people are scared, and that we're going to see Bitcoin absolutely explode in the next couple of weeks or so. Okay, it might be just a sideways breathing period for a few weeks. We might see a bit of downside for a few weeks, but after that, it's pretty much game over. It's just going to absolutely explode to the moon, if you will. But yeah, definitely something to be very, very excited about there. And so far, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. But yeah, guys, if you like the content, smash a like on it. If you like the video, you know what to do. And if you want to see more of this content, I'm streaming every single day, Monday to Friday, guys. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well, and you're never going to miss one of my uploads. But yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you ever so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you in the next one.